Okay.
All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the TechTual Talk. Man, it's episode whatever. I think it's like 28, 29. I'm gonna get it right in the title. But we got a special guest today, man. We got KD, aka if you follow her on YouTube or IG glamtechy. She's here to vibe out with us today. Y'all already know what to do on the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like it, share for the YouTube algorithm. Follow my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it. But not to hold y'all long and talk too long. Let's get to it. All right, so let's give our guest a round of applause real quick for coming up for us today. So, Miss KD, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and kind of what you currently do now?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Clear Lake, Texas. It's like 30, 40 minutes outside of Houston. I currently reside in San Antonio. This is where I work. Um, at first, I didn't always want to be in tech. I actually wanted to be in fashion. So I actually wanted to be a stylist for like black celebrities in LA, had it all figured out. And then I started off as like unpaid help desk for my family, helping with cell phones and all of that stuff, computers, installing software. That kind of intrigued me about like technology and stuff. And so now I work as a systems engineer. I used to be in software development, but now I moved into systems.
Nice. So what's funny is you're still actually designing stuff in a sense, even though it's not depend. I don't know, but then again, with the metaverse and this
True.
NFT stuff, you still can get
Right.
your designer on with the skill sets that you have. So I wouldn't say give up hope on that because now you can take it to the metaverse.
Right. You caught it though. You see that with my Instagram too.
Yeah, definitely. I see the passion for fashion. Wasn't that the Bratz commercial back in the day? I think Bratz. They said that
Yes,
on
the
there.
Brat Dolls. Oh my
Uh
God, that goes
huh.
that goes way back.
See Siri talking to me. I ain't say nothing to her.
Oh man, Siri be on that. I got to be careful too. Mine might be listening too.
uh, yeah. So okay. So you said pretty much we're gonna just say you from Houston, even though you said you're outside of
Oh,
Houston.
okay.
That's what people tend to do when they stay by a bigger
Yeah,
city.
they
They say I'm
do.
from Houston because
Yeah, they be
I
like,
reside like in Dallas now, but we know everybody doesn't stay in Dallas.
that's
Um,
true.
so let's talk about. I know you said you were like kind of like the unpaid help desk of your family. What really made you want to really try to pursue this tech thing? Like, what made you really want to do that?
It kind of it like really interests me, and then also too, I'm not even gonna lie. Let's keep it like a complete 100. Is that the money? So at first, when I was looking at the starting salaries for fashion stylists, I think the average salary at that time, and that was back in like 2010, 2011, it was in the 40,000, even lower, and that's not even a senior position. So I was like, okay, my parents might have a point about the whole fashion thing. And so I started looking. I think it was like what intrigued me about programming and how systems work and stuff was like doing more of the computer stuff than more helping them with my cell phones and stuff like that. I was kind of bored with that. But setting up like networks and routers and stuff at my parents' and my grandmother's house, that really intrigued me. It's like, okay, let me see what this tech is about. What can I really do? Like what would I have to study to work in this space? And that kind of started me on the path. And then I went out of state for college. So I did not go to school in Texas. I actually went to Arizona State, go Sun Devils. I did that on purpose because I wanted to get out of Texas. Everybody I knew was staying in Texas. And so I study information systems and computer science, and that's kind of how I just kind of pivoted and moved into that path.
Nice. Well, I've never been to Arizona, and I really just thought about something childish because I don't know. I
No,
don't
go
really.
ahead, be
No, not
you.
that. I'm saying I don't know. I don't ask people their ages, but I typically know people ages based on the jokes I make because I thought about. Sorry, I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I'm in my
So
30s.
okay, I mean I couldn't tell, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
in
be
my 30s. I'm in my
30. Dang, it's February, so I'll be 30 next month.
Oh my
But
God. You're only like 3 years younger than me.
yeah, you know they say age ain't nothing but a number. I feel like I'm like
Ain't in nothing but
40.
a number.
But
I feel you on that one.
so quick question. So I did my undergrad was in information systems, and I have mixed feelings about it. I think it was cool because it introduced me to different things. But what the bad part is that it didn't guide me to a specific thing or it really helped me figure out what I want to do. And that was kind of something I touched on. I think in one of my last episodes I did. I want to say
Mm-hmm.
Mary and I talked about this. The reason why boot camps are becoming popular is because the
There's
curriculums
no specialty.
are too vague now, and they not showing you how to get a job. So you like it's kind of like you wasting time. And I was talking about how I recently talked to the head of my old curriculum in undergrad, and the curriculum is the same. What was your experience with your curriculums in college?
My experience was very similar. That was one of the biggest complaints from the students, including myself, was that there was no concentration, there was no specialty. It was just like, here's databases, this is what object oriented programming is, this is what a systems analyst does. There was no focus like cyber networking, front end. It was none of that. It was very general. So it's very hard to, especially in school, it's like, okay, well, what do I get me a job in if I don't know what I could specialize or what I could actually do with the degree? And so I didn't know until I got into industry that there was like specialties that you could go into. So I kind of had to stumble a little bit. And I think that because I wasn't as well informed in undergrad, that's why I took on a lot of underpaid, sometimes no paid internships, just to get experience because I didn't know what exactly. I know I wanted to work in tech, but I just kind of stumbled into development and stuff like that. But it it didn't have a concentration, which was very frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things they could do to combat that is a lot of the professors, some of them have worked in the industry. So I think it'd be best if they let them teach classes that be based on what a person would do in that industry.
I
The
agree.
only really good class I like that probably swayed me into cybersecurity was I did a forensics class, I think close to my
Okay.
senior year. And that was pretty cool. I was like, And that went from forensics, I went to security plus, and then I knew I wanted to get in security, but I didn't know how to all those years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, stumbled, did help desk and not for a while. Then finally found my way. But it's people that never find their way when they come out of school, and I
That's
see
so
why they
true.
blame school because you spent a lot of time, money, them people trying to fail
Money.
you. Uh, they didn't tell me, like, for example, school didn't teach me about certifications. I had to find out
It didn't
about
teach me either.
certifications on my own. That's one of the major things I actually asked the the curriculum guy. I said, "Hey, do y'all get certs with these curriculum?" And he was like, "What?" I was
And he was a professor. Oh, you what? He should have
like,
been teaching.
I was like, what incentivizes him? And I was like, only thing they changed was instead of teaching the Visual Basic, they was teaching
What?
Python, and I was like,
Uh,
like man, that's why
they didn't
because
even
my
teach Python in my CIS program, so you good.
and what's crazy, what actually had me look into this was the fact that I'm the oldest of four. All my younger siblings are two are in high school. One is about to graduate this year. One is a junior, and then my
Okay.
baby sister is in 8th grade. My brother under me was thinking about going to my undergrad and probably majoring in what I did, which I don't know why. If you watching this right now, make sure you still with us. Hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. But
Hey.
this is a PSA for the parents, guardians, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
At 18, most of the time, your kid don't know what they don't know.
That's so true.
Research the curriculum with them. Ask people. Look for prime example. Parents, even if you don't have a
People that work
LinkedIn,
in it.
y'all both make a LinkedIn. Go find people with whatever degree you had, or look up the roles and see if you message them and see if they'd be willing to, talk to you a little bit about what they actually should focus on, where they should go. Because what's happening is people not reviewing the curriculums, and so they don't know anything, and therefore you are wasting money. I advised him. I said, hey, go to the community college. We have a community college in Bossier City that will give you some certs for the classes you take, and then you can transfer anywhere you want to go. I say, or well, I said you wanna go to school and have fun. Do you want to get a job and make money? I said because you can do WGU, get your little internship, and you can. I mean, it's what you want to make it, but when you don't know anybody like that, granted, since I was first gen, I'm able to help out and give way better perspective than dang
Right.
it, shoot, that was 12 years ago for me, getting ready to go on to school. And the crazy thing is how you was
Yeah, I
talking
graduated
about,
2012. So
right,
same.
and how you were talking about wanting to be in fashion. I just go back to me thinking about being an architect, and I started looking at like how
Okay.
they start off with, and I was like, for all the crap they got to do in college, they don't start paying them enough. They don't pay them enough in the beginning. So
No, architect, you gotta take like, man, you gotta get all these approvals and go through all these board reviews. Then you have to have a licensed architect or somebody to like hours or something like that. You have to have enough hours.
right, those people used to sleep in there, so I wasn't with that. I was all about listening. Hey, y'all might think this bad advice unless you're trying to get an internship, but C's get degrees.
They sure
It,
do.
from what I also know and experience, straight A's teach me nothing about a person because I know for a fact it's people who have the same test that's been in rotation for years, and you just memorize them and pass everything. So it don't mean nothing.
That is so
But
true.
we didn't got all the way off topic, but that's just some of my gripes. And I might do one of my
That's
videos.
okay.
One of my videos I plan to do is like think about this before going to school, um, or going to college, and that's the main reason is if you're gonna go to certain schools, I get it. If you're gonna pony up the money up, make sure you get your return on investment. Don't go just
Right.
a lot of people went just to go, but you don't have to do that no more. It's way more resources. YouTube University is here. You got all these
Code
different career coaches.
Academy.
Now there are
Right.
representation, people that look like us that they can actually just reach out to, which you couldn't find it
Right.
on YouTube 10 plus years ago.
You
You
could
know, you,
not. You could not. It was only like two black girls I knew, which is Bites of Bree and Maya. So it's
right.
really
So
grown.
you had to. Like I didn't see really people like me doing it until like I started working with my boss at the College of Business. Because I mean, honestly, ain't too many people talk about like IT tech at high school. I mean, it wasn't really
And not at
mentioned.
mine.
They
Right.
mostly talk about the same old stuff, nursing, doctor, lawyer, uh, you know,
Business administration.
right. And
Agreed.
to be truthful, I think business administration, I don't say it's useless, but I think it's much harder because it's too vague. You don't specialize in anything. You
It's
may could be
not.
a
And you notice,
manager.
right?
No, go ahead.
Like, no, you notice though when people that do a business administration, like if they're really strategic, they'll always have something go with it, like marketing, like in business administration and finance, business administration and
Right.
marketing, business administration and accounting, like because it doesn't have a concentration.
Definitely. And honestly, that's how CIS should be. Computer information systems
I agree.
with, specialized in networking, database, cybersecurity, web design, what UX, programming. Like that's what it should be like. That way, when they see the degree, okay, we know exactly what you worked on. So one of the things
Right.
I do want to do one day is because I wanted to work with him on it, but at the same time, I seen like they had their mind made up. I want to find a university that'll be progressive, that'll take my
Hmm.
insight seriously and also pay me for it because I'm not helping y'all for free. But
Oh yeah, what that hey, we got to get paid, right?
because they definitely,
Or you mean like so you mean like you want to do like curriculum design.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind because I mean it's similar to like free game. It's like kind of like when people come to me who didn't go to college, right, and they're looking for a cheap alternative. So I say,
Mhm.
hey, use one of these e-learning platforms like Cyber, for example, has a SOC analyst path. I take certain things people did in that path and I put them down. It's like related coursework. So it's the same things that people could actually teach classes on, just like they do like with
Agreed.
WGU, and they like structure them to certs. They could do the same thing, and that'll keep people coming into
Agreed.
school. If not, I don't know what they're gonna do. You can't justify people just going to go unless they just want to be away. Once they get old, eventually, because they ain't canceling the loans, and it's only so long you can do income based repayment. And you don't want
That's
to.
so true.
Everybody don't want to be like work for like the state or anything like that. So
No, I interned for the state, and I knew very quickly in my 6 months that that is not something I wanted to do. Be at the state for a full time job, absolutely not, because it's very unstable. If they make budget cuts, or depending on who in office, you might be up out of a job.
Got it. Sorry. I seen something
No,
on my
you good.
phone. But anyway, now that's settled. So we would talk about kind of like how it was for you in college. Let's get into, so how long have you actually been doing tech? How long has that been going on for
Altogether.
you? Yeah.
Um, so 9 years. It'll be 10 in August 12th of this year. So when I first, while I was like, when I graduated out of college, I had like 40 plus job rejections. I applied everywhere. And to be honest, when I first graduated out of college, I actually thought, okay, maybe I'll work as a systems analyst. I did minor in computer science, but the same thing with computer science, there was no concentration. So I didn't
Hmm.
know, I knew I had a technical degree, but I didn't really know what all I could do with it. So my goal was to try to do internships in different spaces. So finally, after like overcoming all the job rejections, I got me a job as a software developer, but working in back end. So I did that for 4 years. I worked with like shell scripting. I did ETL, like data stage. I did a lot of database stuff, SQL, business objects reporting, that sorts of thing. And
So you
then
really was,
once
you was getting in there then.
they had me, yeah. So at first they played me though, because in undergrad, I had taken classes. My programming was in like .NET and Java. So I thought, okay, they hired me on. I'm gonna be a Java developer, I guess. And they were like, nah, we don't have any slots for Java developers. We about to put you on this distributed team. And they're like, do you know Linux? I'm like, no. They're like, perfect. We finna put you on this team. So I had to kind of like they kind of like threw me in the deep, and I had to pick up really, really quickly. And then as much as I like the development side, there's like politics and business to it, and I'm kind
Hmm.
of got tired of my work being determined by business people that don't know what they want. They think they know what they want, but they really
Right.
don't. They'll come to me and be like, I want A, B, and C, but you really don't. You want A through G. And then you spend all this hard work and hours and overtime trying to give them what they want, and they keep changing stuff. And so I kind of got sick of that, and I was like, okay, I'm not really. So I had a conversation with my manager. And it's like, hey, I kind of would like to expand my career and try a different technical role. And so that's how I kind of networked around the company, to be honest. She was not really rushing. She heard me, but she didn't really hear me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do me. So I started networking, talking to other people in systems, and I made a connection, and he connected me with his manager. Then I told my manager, and then I interviewed, and then so that's where I've been for the past 5 years in systems. So, and systems is crazy because people think like systems people don't code. We may not code as much as like a software developer, but we definitely do. It's definitely the line between like systems administration, but also like systems programming. So like, keeping track of servers and capacity, making sure that stuff that runs on the servers is not consuming all of our resources for the whole organization. We kind of work with developers a lot. I'm sure you work in tech as well, like with incidents, we being on outage calls all the time because somebody job ran too long or somebody was running something they shouldn't have, and those sorts of things.
Yeah. That reminds me of when I worked at the knock. We had pretty much dashboards and all these different alarms when everything would like get to a certain level, like, well, I forgot
Mhm.
when it fired, probably like 80, 90%. And you have to figure out like,
Mhm.
why is it, CPU going up that threshold, and
Yeah,
it's an outage. And
you already
then we were in
know.
the payment card industry. So if it was an outage or something wasn't working, I mean, companies was losing money. So it became a big deal. And I used to
It
leverage that when
was.
I didn't necessarily have cybersecurity experience per se, but I did. I just didn't know I didn't. But I used to leverage that when I would be in interviews. I was like, well, I do know incident response. I mean, I do it in a different way. But I definitely
Right.
understand like documenting and stating the problem and trying to get the root cause.
But
So it definitely used to be my job as a knock was pretty fun and boring. Meaning, if you're not an ambitious person, you just want to collect the check, you could definitely do it. I mean, I used to work
it's good coin.
what Thursday through Sunday, and hang on a second. My fault. I'm like,
No,
you
you
can hear
good.
everybody in the background. I'm like, she know I'm recording. Uh, but okay, yeah. So if you're an unambitious person, you could definitely do it. I used to go up there, and like I used to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, most of the time I was sleeping the whole day. Going to the
Hey, let me.
Galleria, uh, going to get food, inviting people up there to keep me company. They ain't supposed to be up there. For real. Like it's amazing I never got caught doing that. You know what I'm saying? Let me give myself a snake sound for that. Like
It's true
I
though.
I had to because I mean I was pissed off. I was like, fam. Because at that time, their contract stated with the people that they were monitoring transactions for that somebody will always be present in the knock. And I'm like, fam, I could do this from home. Why am I waking up extra early to be at work for
Right.
7 o'clock on a Saturday to do nothing the
Right.
whole day unless something fires? This doesn't even make sense. Like I used to get pissed off. Like that's how I ended up going to grad school. I was so bored, so I need something to do at work.
I could relate because I work for a financial services company, so I keep glamtechy, my business, GT Digital, separate from my workspace. But they used to have, and I'm not a developer per se anymore, but they had a rotation program where you did have to sit in the they call it an availability center, and that's where you had to monitor jobs batch. If there were any incidents, you had to hop on a call and speak to them. It was like a 6 month mandatory rotation that they put all the new people in because they were like, before you touch our code, we want to make sure that like you understand how an outage works, how to communicate, how to send emails, how to get the right parties involved, and all of that stuff. And much respect because we had to do the early shifts. Six, it was like 6:30 to 2. I was like, man, the devil is a lie because I'm used to coming in at like 9, 8:45.
Hey, bro,
That
come on
6:30
now,
is,
dog.
ooh.
Come
So I,
on, man.
right. So I mean, I could completely relate. And they still have that availability center where people they have set teams that do just that, and they are very good at that. So I can completely understand. Cause I was in there for 6 months and I was like, oh man. Oof.
Right. Funny thing is, like everything is foreign to me now. Like another way I used to sell myself in these interviews is like they would talk about I was 24/7. I was like, listen, over 2 years, I worked every imaginable schedule you could think of. Because when I did help desk, I worked 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. 6 to 3. I worked the other way around, coming in at 6 p.m. to 5 in the morning. I worked
Mhm.
11 to 10 p.m. and then did 5 hours of overtime, like 12 to 11. Like I used to work like so
Dang.
many different shifts. Like that's why for years it took years for my sleep schedule for me to actually be able to sleep at night because I
Mhm.
my body was just changing so much. If one moment you'd be going to sleep in the morning, next night you're going to sleep at night. It didn't really know. And I used
I
to
believe
sleep
you.
at work. Like we leave the phone on for real. If at
And
night
be on
shift you don't get that
Sudoku
many calls.
games, Angry
Nah,
Birds.
we
Oh, okay. We
well before
did.
they locked the thing down, shoot, I used to get DVDs and shoot, I go to Game Exchange buy
I
some
had my
DVDs.
tablet in there. I have my little monitors. I have my little tablet. I be watching stuff
Well,
while I'm looking
see,
at the dashboard.
it used to be much funner until the people on the other side started blocking like the stuff we could do on the network. So we couldn't do that. So I had a
Mm.
laptop at the time. I put an emulator on it. So I used to just be playing the emulator games at work to pass time. And I go to sleep. The only way you get a call, you leave it on speaker and then it make a noise. You do the call. And most of the time it was pretty
Mhm. Put the
fast.
headset
And
on.
so that used to be easy money, but it did get bored old quick. But
You can.
so you're at the same company that you started with?
I am. I am.
Interesting because most people subscribe, and I subscribe to it to a sense, but I say only do it if it makes sense for you. Most people subscribe to job hopping, far as because they want to get money. But I know my
Right.
last position, I stayed there. That was like probably the longest company I've been at, like 3 years and some change. It's only because
Mhm.
they let me have room to grow like every couple of months or every year. So I didn't really have a reason. I wasn't necessarily just chasing money because I knew the money was going to come. I was doing different opportunities because it got me to where I'm at now. So, but like I do say,
Yeah.
if people's objective is to get paid, you can definitely jump around. But you sometimes that might not
Yeah.
benefit you in the long run if you're not really going somewhere and actually proving like stuff you implemented and bringing value there, so you can actually show people when you interview. So, but
Yeah.
what's your
I
take
have
on
a
that?
reason for it. Yeah, my take is, number one, you have to do what's best for you. And for me, I really wanted to build technical depth in each area. So that's why I stayed. And also the benefits and the pay were really good at this particular company. And their style or their culture is, you don't necessarily have to change companies. You can just change jobs in a completely different technical domain without having to leave the company. And you don't necessarily have to have a master's degree either to work in another
Nice,
technical domain. So that to me was attractive, and I like the stability. Now that I'm kind of more seasoned in my career, I would like to, I am looking at possibly maybe changing companies or changing roles because my interest has changed slightly and I would like to do different projects. But again, it comes back to the style of the person. And if you feel like you need to move to make moves to get the different roles and experiences that you need to do, absolutely do it. And you want to get more coin, absolutely, get them checks. But if it makes sense for you to stay a little bit longer and learn what you need to learn to do that, absolutely. So it's really depends on the person. That was my style, but it really depends on the person. There's not a wrong or right way to do it.
nice, nice. So, what we'll do now, you kind of talked about system engineering. We'll say now, if somebody says they wanted to be a system engineer from like step one, including what they need to do and skills they need to learn, like what would they need to do in order to be a systems engineer?
I would say problem solving, fundamental problem solving. I would tell them exactly how my mentor, my original mentor told me because I thought I had to have all this knowledge about operating systems. I thought I had to know every scripting language, and it was so fundamental. And I looked at him like he was dumb because I was so dumbfounded by how simple his answer was. If you really want to be a systems engineer or in the system space, you really just have to have really good communication skills. Like you got to be able to articulate problems, be like, hey, we got this, the capacity on this server is over 90%. You have to be able to articulate problems clearly because you're going to be talking to different audiences and different teams. So you might be working with like database people, you might be working with network people. Great communication and great troubleshooting. It's like super fundamental. Like I know that sounds super basic and some people are like, really, that's it? But to honestly, that's with every role in tech. Like it don't matter if you work in systems or cyber, but be able to problem solve and look at an issue and break it down and or get at least a good idea of what the issue is and then learning how to Google that issue, that is like you'd be so surprised because when I was in college, that was frowned upon. Looking at other people's code, googling stuff, like that was frowned upon. It's like, oh, you a copycat. You're not gonna be a successful developer, or you're not gonna be successful in tech. When I got in industry, that was the devil is a lie because that's how I learned. And then I went on Stack Overflow. I talked to my peers. So it's really, if you really want to be in systems, have a great attitude, great communication, great troubleshooting skills, and then be willing to have really great soft skills. We don't talk about soft skills. You really have to be great with like working with different types of people. Everybody focuses on so much on like the technical stuff. I think soft skills are just as important. How to talk to people, like what not to put in an email, how to not throw somebody under the bus when you write something, how to cover yourself and cover your butt to say, hey, I did my due diligence. I looked at this dashboard, that dashboard. Obviously, it's not this.
Per my last email.
per my exactly per my last email. I won't throw Karen under the bus, but you know, as you can see, I will attach a screenshot so quick. I will BCC my manager, be like, "Hey, look, fam, I done already told this person this, and this." But that's really what anybody could learn systems. And then I would think if we're gonna really speak technical, I'd say it's good to have maybe some kind of scripting. So if you know Python, you ahead of the game. I would say Linux skills are really big in systems because Linux runs on like 90% of internet servers. So if you learn Linux, you could write your own meal ticket. Like I think Linux are good. If you have the fundamentals of like shell scripting, like basic commands like cd, grep, how to search for things, you're good. I mean, you could get in the door with like Linux skills because Linux skills are like a dime a dozen.
Nice. And it's funny. I had a Udemy course for some Linux stuff because every so often I
Okay.
brush on it because I'm weak in it only because I didn't have to use it every day. But I knew I needed to
Yeah.
learn it better because I was having issues installing something on Ubuntu, or I had to update some
Oh
rules
yeah.
for it's rules for this tool called Suricata, and it was killing me. I had to hit up Dayspring like, hey man, I'm putting this thing down. So I said, oh, you need to use it was either the cat command or some crap I need to
Yeah,
use
the
to do
cat.
something, and I couldn't figure it out. So you're definitely right because Linux is always useful,
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
with everything going to the cloud. Linux is definitely helpful. Just knowing Linux and
Absolutely.
then learn how to automate things as well will definitely help you
Absolutely.
out. Um,
Absolutely.
do you know of any resources people could use to, besides YouTube, anything free or inexpensive they could use to show them Linux, some Bash,
Um,
PowerShell?
yes, there is dang it. I don't know the exact website. I could send it to you. I could email it to you, I guess, to if you wanted to post it in the description.
Okay.
But there is quite a few websites that I use to kind of crash course learn quick commands to run. And I would literally have it in one tab and I'd be in like logged on to the server through Putty and I'd be running those commands, checking on stuff. So there is quite a
Ooh, you
few
just said a
resources
magic
that you can
word. You want to tell them what putty is?
yes. Putty is basically it's like an application or terminal that you can use to log in and execute shell scripts like bash, corn. So that's one of the tools, one of the many tools that you can use in Linux. There's Emacs, there's a bunch. So yes, I do there is some resources that you can that are absolutely free that are like cheat sheets of commands that I can share.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm glad you helped the people out with that. Because this podcast, no one's sole purpose is to show that there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's so many different roles out here that people don't
Absolutely.
know about. I actually plan to try to get I forgot what her YouTube name is. Is it Women in Linux or something? I can't remember, but I've been seeing her on different
Oh,
live streams and panels, and
let me look. Let
I'm
me look
hope to
her
get
up.
her on here one day because I think she's been doing Linux for like 15 years. So,
Oh, that
and
would
my
be
guy,
dope.
and then shout out to my guy Keep It Techie. He's his channel's pretty much Linux and all about open source software. He talks about that all the time.
Ooh.
So
Okay, I see her. Yeah, Women in Linux. I see her channel.
yeah,
Yes.
I'll be just listening to her talk. She's pretty dope just from what she said. So I might just have to tell her I got time today and
Reach
pull
out.
up on her on the
Yes.
page. Uh,
Yes, reach out, slide in her DMs.
but we talked a lot about kind of like your career. And well, this will be the last kind of career question because technically I already
Okay.
asked you this, as far as being at the same job for uh, almost 10 years, well, same company. What's next in the sense of I remember you said your interest changed. So what you got your sights set on, as far as next in the career?
Something that's been kind of like eating at me for a while for like the past couple years is I'm an extremely creative person. Which is why I started the whole glamtechy and my Instagram and stuff like that. Now it's evolved into a business that I'm building out. But I'm an extremely creative person, and I'm looking at maybe going into front end. I haven't really done front end since college, but I remember some of the fundamentals. So I'm looking at maybe like something where I could be like a full stack designer or a front end designer. And I've been looking at different job roles and what that looks like at different companies. So that's something, that's a domain that I would definitely like to refresh myself on and definitely look into maybe transitioning in, because I do miss that creative aspect. Because in systems it's not sexy, scripts are not sexy, databases, that may not excite some people, but that's a space that I'm definitely looking into possibly transitioning into.
Got you. Yeah, we got to get you back in the camera.
Oh, am I too far?
Yeah, you was like on the edge.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's see.
Sorry.
If there you go. Well,
Okay.
actually, when you were sitting straight, you was in there
Okay. Am I
because
good
it's like your
now?
chair. It's like your chair's turn. Whatever way you were
Oh,
sitting at first.
okay. How about
That-
now?
okay, yeah, we good. All right.
Okay.
So what we do with the next couple questions is like, first of all, what made you? Well, I don't think you're the only glam techie. I think you're the only glam techie that has your name spelt the way it's spelled. But I do
Yes.
see different glam techies, and sometimes I get confused.
Yes.
Like, which one is this?
One
And
of them, the glam techie, is a tech writer because we
Mhm.
we we homies. We talk on the DMs all the time. She's an actual freelance technical writer.
Yeah,
She's doing a
and
lot
I
of
think
big
she's reached
things.
out to me before too. I think I can't
Okay.
remember. Um,
Okay.
but what spurred that? How long is not how long Glam Techie's been in the works, but as far as the
The
Glam Techie
idea.
with the IG and whatever stuff, like how long has that been going on?
Oh man, it's been going on for over a year. I would say almost 2 years. When I first, so the whole idea was I started really glam tech is to catch your attention, right?
Hmm.
It's to represent that not everybody fits the mold of tech. Not everybody, like, you know, I love my J's, I love my Air Force Ones, I love my jeans. Not everybody fits the mold of what people say tech people should look like.
Right.
There's a lot of people of color. There's a lot of minorities in this space. There's a lot of minorities trying to get into this space. So Glam Techie, I'm trying to represent and show people that you don't got to fit the mold to work in tech. You don't have to fit the mold to get the good paying job that you desire. That is totally doable. So that's what that kind of represents. And so my page or whatever has evolved because when I first started my IG page 2 years ago, I thought I was just gonna do cute little affirmations like "You can do it," "Oh, you got this," "Oh, yes, boo." And then I realized there was other pages that did that better than me. So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more meat and context. Let me just share my personal story and my struggles to help reach other people, let them know like other black people, other black men and women can get into this space." So that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, that's around the same time frame. I think I've been like a year and a half. I was kind of already doing what I do now. Like on the low, it just wasn't publicized, and I decided the second half of 2020 that I probably just gonna go all in and see
Same.
where it got me. And it's been an interesting.
Same.
It's for me. It's tough only because, well, we can say both, but we're the only person doing everything for us. So from making edits on this to shooting content ideas, to posting,
IG.
email marketing, um,
Tell the people.
Twitter, engagement on like my YouTube community tab, building up other things,
Commenting.
Facebook, trying to get people to
I
go
don't have
and
a
buy me a
Facebook.
coffee and putting stuff on it. Like, well, I still have it. I have like my Instagram is connected to like a Facebook business page, but
Okay.
I don't really utilize it like I should for the most part. It's because it's a lot. That's why I have a app called Buffer where I can just post. LinkedIn is really like my friend now, so I do a lot of more business on LinkedIn now. I've been marketing more on there because
Oh,
it's
that's
a
awesome.
professional site and people are actually trying to do the right thing on there. I mean, yes, I did raise my following on Twitter. It could be more, but I don't have Twitter on my regular phone anymore right now. It's because time consuming. I find myself in senseless uh,
Certain
debates with people.
hashtags, certain.
Yeah, well, that I mean, it was fun to me, but at the same time, it's like it's a waste of time. I'm much better when I could tweet without the influence of what's on the timeline. whatever comes to my head is what comes to my head. I didn't read anything and made me tweet it, as far as
Hmm.
Twitter's concerned.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like you could be yourself on Twitter more than you can on Instagram. I don't know. That's just my
I mean,
vibe.
I'm both. I think now it comes with the texting part. Like, for us, like posts, I think you're right. But I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
both. So
I'm
most of,
talking about
like,
the post.
if I do post stories or whatever, I miss the fleets on Twitter. But
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, you already talking about like your IG and selling your personal stories. Circling back to when you said the 40 rejections, I know one of my videos that I made, like, not necessarily, I got to check. I don't even know how many views it has. The video I did with like 100, jobs told me no. But the crazy thing about that is, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that might be in the video where I seen Dewan Lightfoot checked in on it. And I was like, oh, dang, I'm really doing something now. Like, people in the space that's been, making YouTube content for a while is like tuning in. And
That's awesome.
so that's why one of the reasons why I'm not caught up in, I mean, I got a good amount of subs now, a decent amount, and they
Yeah,
can
you're doing
always.
good. I've been seeing you and Black Female Engineer. I've been following y'all for a while.
Who's
I
Black
don't
Female
like maybe
Engineer?
watch um what's her name? Naya? The black, yeah, the Black Female Engineer. She's on IG.
Oh,
She
you have
has
to
a
send me a
YouTube channel. I
page. I
think
don't.
she's got almost here, let me pull up her IG real quick. I think you might follow her, Henry.
I don't know. Oh, it's actually Henri.
Is that how, oh, did I say it wrong?
Hmm.
Oh man. I
That's the reason why I
apologize,
just keep
sis.
it at HD for a reason, because it's just easier for people to just say HD. But I always say, if you mess my name up, you're trying to get it right instead
Naya,
of,
I'm sorry. But yeah, you follow her, right?
I don't know. You just have to share her page with me and
Okay, I'll share. I'm gonna send
Instagram.
her.
But yeah, so we'll actually talk a little bit about YouTube really quick. We'll actually turn this into a learning lesson for the text that's out there, because it's a lot of people that want to start. I have
Yes.
people. Shout out to my guy Randall 50, talking tech with 50. Our episode is actually, even though guys watching this is pre-recorded, so it don't matter. But his episode is dropping this week. Uh, and he was asking me about YouTube as well. And I really could say the biggest thing is, like I tell everybody, I say, hey, go watch Sneak Neiman, go watch Think Media, pay
That's
attention,
awesome.
because if people notice, and it's funny because I've been had this lens for my camera, but I just put it on like at the end of the year.
Mhm.
Me and Dayspring and I tried to go live and I tried to use it, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working right that day. But now,
Dang.
it's fine. Like, my lighting's good. I changed my backdrop. Well, I just rearranged some stuff. Audio is a big one. Everybody's focused on video, but if people can't hear you, that's one of the big ones. So make sure your audio's
Okay.
good. Make sure the content is good, which it's not going to always be good. Like, I go back, I kind of cringe at, I'm going to do a reaction to my
I
very
cringe
first
at two
video.
of my videos already.
I shot it on the front facing camera of, I forgot. I think it might have been my old Pixel 3. But the
Okay.
audio's not that good. It's all in my face. It's like, but I could tell, like, if you're worried, like, it's, because I didn't start off with what I have. Like, now I actually got, different equipment, and I'm looking to possibly get like a Sony ZV-1 just to vlog or whatever.
That's what I want. I was looking at an E10. I upgraded my phone to the 13. So my first 11 videos have been on an iPhone XR, and I just have a ring light. And then
Yeah.
I got me a, a video micro from Rode,
Hmm.
and I just put that on top of my little phone tripod on my ring light, so that'll collect any like filter out
Yeah, it's
any
a
of the like
cardioid
background
mic.
noise.
Yeah, I mean, I shot a lot on there too, the back one. And now, if you have an Apple Watch, you can set it up to where I've been seeing on Think
I do have
Media.
an Apple Watch,
You can,
actually. Put
yeah.
me up on game, Henry. Put me up on game.
I think it's up there. But you can wrap the watch around this part right here, and so it'll be looking like a screen, so you can see how you look. So you can use the back camera to record. So they got that
Oh,
functionality now. Because and now actually
what?
you don't right, and actually you don't need to necessarily go get you a mirrorless camera if you don't want to. I have it because it makes it easier for me to record. I just leave it up, and
Mhm.
then I can just sit down, and then I have like two newer lights right here. I got a
Mhm.
key light right here. Then I have a light thing. I use a whole bunch of different contractions that I got. That's on top of connected to my camera that I use for light, just for the lens. Uh, and then these two lights behind me, and then my what you call it light. But I all this stuff came like later. I mean, I tried to do it like a little bit in 2020. Ooh, she's upset. But
Oh, is that your daughter?
yes, one of them.
Oh, oh.
But all this stuff came like later. I mean, because I could tell. I remember like I used to like one of the things that can help you out with your videos is you script them out. I probably can go into Google Keep or my notes and show where I script the
I've heard
videos
about
out.
that.
Yeah, because what
Yeah,
happens is
I
I'll say if you script it out, then you can read your script and see do you think it's going to even be beneficial. Therefore, you may or may not even have to waste time shooting it. And I at first I wasn't. I was utilizing TubeBuddy, but I really wasn't using the Keyword Explorer. Now, if something come to my mind, I kind of do the Keyword Explorer. If it looks good, I say, okay, cool, I'll do
mm,
something on it. But that's
okay.
how I do my thumbnails and my titles now. Like I'll throw it in if I do a reaction. I'll throw up something. I try to get. I say, boom, okay, I got it, and I'll see that it get a little bit of traction. And I think I forgot when it was when I fell off. I know for one, I fell off with doing this for a while. I got super busy, but I was like,
Mhm.
I knew how I fell off because I didn't have it scheduled. Now that's the reason I send the links out. I have them booked up, so it makes me go and say, okay, boom, I know I got this in 2 weeks, or I got an episode every day. I need to shoot this thing
Nice.
and not fall off for like a couple of weeks. And because what I used to do was just like manually say, "Oh, you want to be on there? Okay, cool. I'll create everything." Boom, boom. I say, "But I already pay for Calendly. Let me just send the link out, and it'll already tell them what to do. It's
Right.
going to
Automate
automate
some of that.
everything for me, and I'm good." And now I've also been
Right.
using. I didn't figure it out. This ain't my YouTube related, but even for my business, whenever somebody buy my ebook, Zapier posts to my Twitter like, "Hey, somebody just bought the ebook," and all the other stuff. It's just been a whole journey. But like I said, I was talking about a
Nice.
lot. I was talking about how a live streamer could be beneficial. I'm having live stream a lot just because little kids, and sometimes I can either live stream late at night or a time like this, maybe when they're doing something. It really just depends. But live streaming, premiering your videos works pretty good as well because you still can go in the chat
Okay.
and talk to people. You can pin stuff in the chat.
Okay.
Thumbnails,
That's one I'm
SEO.
trying to.
Oh, it's another
And
girl
so,
actually. Annie
it's,
Doob. No, you go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, you first.
Oh, okay, I was just saying Annie. Her name's Annie Doob. I learned a lot from
Any.
her in 2020. Like she started like her YouTube, like I want to say 2020. Like she blew up. She used to give. She probably still does give YouTube tips. I don't know. I haven't checked her content out in a while. But
Okay. Duke as in Duke.
I think it's Doob, like DU Delta
Oh.
Uniform Bravo. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Did it come up?
Um. I found her.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh.
she's. I think she's in Canada
Okay.
or something. But like, I don't even know how many subscribers she got now. How many she got?
129.
Okay, that's crazy. I
129.
remember when she started off like she went in like 50K then, like, but her videos were blowing up. So, but um, thumbnails, SEO. So it's a rule of thumb. You need to have your title back in the description and like one or two sentences or whatever you're talking about, so it can become more searchable. That ranks higher than using auto tags. Trust me, I used to use auto tags. It doesn't really.
See, I'm doing that too. So you're saying SEO. So you're saying like take a description of whatever I'm talking about and make that the title of the video.
So let's say, for instance, we said in this video, I said I labeled it, what are the skills you need to become, how to become a system engineer or whatever. And I said, oh, in this video, we're going
Mm,
to talk about how to be a system engineer and, what types of, how much a system engineer pays, which I didn't ask because I forgot. But it's stuff like that because system engineers constantly repeating itself. And so it's going to rank higher in the search when somebody
mm,
types in system engineer. So that's pretty
mm.
much the thought process of that.
Okay.
Automating your descriptions, call to action. Hey, instead of saying, what up, YouTube? Go ahead and subscribe to the video, like, comment, subscribe. I have to like even sometimes now I'll be in a video then say, hey, if you're interested in cybersecurity news, career help, and blah blah blah, please hit the subscribe button. Call to action right there. It's just different
Okay.
ways you can do it, different ways you can skin the cat. But the main thing is just staying consistent. Even if you got to spend
That's
a
what
day
I'm.
and plan them out and you
Yeah.
only shoot 2 videos, cool, bam, boom, you did your 2 videos. And that's how you work on it. One of the easier things that I can do now is when I don't have a lot of time is with these, they're so long that I could do two or three snippets from a podcast episode and then throw it up on YouTube while I'm still working on some other content that I need to shoot. So
Oh, that's good.
reactions, podcast videos. I got other technical videos that I'm planning to do. It never
Oh,
fails.
and then there's this. I think he follows both of us. He used to be Devin Coffee on IG, but he's Christian. You know who I'm talking about?
Devin
Okay,
Coffee.
maybe not. Okay, but there's another brother that's in tech, and his page is called Black Heights. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah. So actually,
I
ironically,
watch
I've
him too.
actually he just talked to Kev Tech the other day, and I told him I wanted to come on. So I may be on Black Heights eventually whenever he gets to my email.
Okay,
But yeah, so
okay, he's pretty
yeah,
dope
I actually
too.
seen him on a channel that I don't really care for anymore. I don't know if that'll come up when me and him talk.
Oh,
But
okay,
um,
okay.
but no, he's been
I didn't
dope.
know if he
And
was.
if you've been noticing, he's been doing a lot of live streams. Shout out to Before the Billions. I don't know if you've seen Before the Billions, but I think he's been on Black Heights before too. But we got something in the works that's coming up. He's a fellow YouTuber in Atlanta. I think he's a data engineer. I think that's what he does. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, he's one of the few YouTubers that actually talk about information tech, like technology and stuff like that, and then like the differences. So he does that space. But that's cool. And then I guess my last question for you, because I don't want to keep you, and I appreciate the opportunity for you putting me on, giving me an opportunity to be on your channel and to chat with you, which is super exciting and super dope. Is when did you start seeing traction on your channel? Because I know a lot of people say definitely you have to be consistent in your uploads with that. So I'm working on content planning like that. But when did you start to see stuff really kind of
uh,
take a turn?
I don't know. I think it was just different. I think it was
Okay.
crazy because I started this channel in what late July or August of 2020. I can't remember. I have to look. But I got
Oh
all my tube
wow.
buddy stuff
Okay.
from back then. At the end of 2020, I only had what was it, like 500 subs, 500 some subs, if not close to 1,000. I
Okay.
can't remember. You have to, like, if you want to fact check me, go back to one of the streams I did either I think in the beginning of 2021 with Dayspring, and you'll hear me talk about
I'm
like
not
how
gonna
many
fact check
subs I
you.
got. No, not fact check me,
I
but
don't.
I really can't remember.
Oh.
But I
Oh.
think I
Okay.
started realizing once
I'm
I hit
not
the,
gonna Tasha K you.
oh man, ain't nobody worry about Tasha K. She played herself. Um,
Oh, she did. Bless her heart.
the winos. Anyways, I think when I finally hit the 1,000 mark, I started noticing that I was
Hmm.
really getting traction because of my videos. Like people starting to subscribe. I still market pretty heavy now. Like I use this app called Social Bee as well. Social Bee automates
I've heard
like
of them. Yes. Okay.
it automates like some of my podcast episodes, stuff for my playlist and other stuff. I can just make a campaign and I can make it just post whenever. Like I said, with Buffer, I do the same thing. And I used to just do when I first started off, I would do like some good sentences about what my video is about, and boom, send it to Twitter. Boom, join some Reddits that had like YouTube help and say, "Oh, you can post your YouTube videos. We don't care." Like I post them there. So I was doing all the early grinding stuff, which I still continue to be doing, but I just don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do it anymore because I be busy. LinkedIn helped me out a lot too because the content I talk about is what people are trying to do. So if you have a LinkedIn and you want to post on LinkedIn and you kind of do like a little bit like, hey, blah blah blah, this is me, this is what I learned about this, and those long drawn out posts on LinkedIn with videos always do good numbers for the most part for me. I've had
I never thought about LinkedIn for
recruiters
promo.
and all different type of people like reach out to me on
Okay.
LinkedIn and say, yeah, I like your channel and stuff like that. Commenting, doing good comments on people's videos helps too. Like then your video starts getting, I mean, your comments start getting liked and people click on your profile and they start replying, whether it's a good comment or you're trolling or whatever. Like that helps too.
Mm.
Going in live
Okay. See, I
chats and
felt kind of
stuff.
weird about doing that too, because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like, oh, I only
I
want to
ain't gonna
promote
lie.
this
Well,
page because I can get
I
me
offended
some
some people in the
subscribers, you know?
beginning because I was like, I was on some like 50 Cent type stuff. Like I just was taking my video, copy and pasting and say, hey, yeah, you should check out my video. But honestly, that's the wrong way to go. The right way to go is to just comment about what their videos about, something actually thoughtful. And then if the most of the time that owner do, if you in the same thing as them, they normally reply back and then say, hey man, can you check out my video or something? Or you never know, they might share it to their community tab. Like I know a couple of times I done laugh at since you brought up Tasha K. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with O'Shea Duke Jackson. Uh,
Oh my God, yes.
he laughed at one of my. So funny thing is, he laughed at one of my comments because I was like, he posted somebody's prom picture. I was like, yeah, you looking real dusty, and he liked that. But then shout
That's
out to Struggle
dope.
Security. He's friends with dude Gabe. I do not pronounce Gabe's name. Aberrot. I ain't gonna mess up Gabe's name like that. But he got a YouTube channel now called Struggle Security. And he's friends with
Okay.
O'Shea, and we'll probably be doing some eventually too. But it's stuff like that, like coming on there,
Okay.
like I be coming in on mediocre and tutorial reviews, and people like the comments and stuff. So it really just it's all about it's almost like when you on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and you get
Instagram.
a like I know a lot of my stuff started hidden. Like that's what happened with me on Twitter. It's just like I had some tweets that was really hidden, and people started following me. So, but
Nice.
that's like short
Good tips.
version. If I could actually like do
Good
it more
tips.
concisely, and just like I said, it's like Dayspring, like make quality content that people are probably looking for. Like everything he does is pretty much on the channel, and he's been killing it. He's probably going to be at 10,000 subs by the end of the month.
Wow. You
But
know
I
that's
think,
Cyberwolf, right?
yeah,
Okay.
but you also pay attention with him, like and me and him, like so you also look at our beginnings to kind of like our videos and stuff now, like qualities increase in audio and all this other stuff. It kind of goes along with okay, this dude might not, this dude probably knows they talking about, oh, I like it. Or, also I use epidemic sound in some of my videos, like trying to find some good
I do
music,
that for my intro.
some lo-fi music that I keep to like negative
Yes.
20 something decibels or something that I put on the video, kind of just to help people tune in. Eventually I'm gonna get to where I switch the music based on what I'm doing in the video. Uh,
That's dope.
so that helps too. Eventually, I'll get into like when I do my video, zooming in and all the angles. All this, so you see what Nick Neiman do, where he talking, and then it go closer and all that.
Yeah, and it
That helps.
changes.
That helps. That really
I don't know if
helps.
I'm gonna be at that level yet,
And
but
I think the last one I'll say is like make longer videos. Longer videos. YouTube like longer videos, and that's longer they watch, longer watch time. So that helps too. If you try to make 5-minute videos, then somebody might only watch it 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then you make a 20-minute video. Maybe that person only watched 3 minutes and whatever seconds, but that's longer than the 1 minute, 30 seconds. So you got to look at it like that.
okay. That's good advice. I appreciate it.
But yeah, that's let me see what we got. I'm gonna go to this real quick. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna do. We're gonna just wrap up this episode like that. We talked about her being a system engineer. We talked about her business, glamtechy is her brand, and also, we gave y'all some YouTube tips for those of y'all that have been looking into getting into YouTube and starting a YouTube channel. If you like the advice, you already know to make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it out to other people that want to start their own YouTube channel, whether they're in tech or not. And as for Miss glamtechy, can you tell people where they can follow you at on social media?
Yep, all my handles, glamtechy at Instagram, glamtechy at Twitter, and Tech with Glamtechy on YouTube. So it's pretty much the same name.
Y'all got a social. Y'all go ahead and y'all make sure y'all follow her for those of y'all that are listening. And all those links will be in the description. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. And hey, 2022, y'all know what to do. Let's get textual. And we out.